and yet here I am doing it. Okay. So I skipped Saturday and then was on twice yesterday. I'm doing the Emma Curtis Hopkins class, which you can still join if you want to. You can go to the website, I think, or the email if you get our email, and there will be a link. Or you can go to the Sunday service, because I put a link in the Sunday service as well, and it's on both YouTube and so. So I needed to read the chapter, and I was like, and apparently there's not an audible version of Emma Curtis Hopkins' Scientific Christian Mental Practice. I'd read chapter 2 anyway, so I just went ahead and read it live on Facebook. And then once I get chapter 1 done, which I'm planning to do Wednesday, and then I will do chapter 3 next Saturday, I will create a YouTube channel. Or no, I have a YouTube channel. I will put it both on the Creative Life and on the Running Rev Ryan YouTube channels. So it will be available in both of them. And then that way, hopefully, because apparently there is somebody who's read it, but apparently it's not, well, a couple of people said it was boring. So hopefully I'm not boring. But when you read a chapter for an hour, although you did get to watch me stumble over words, so mine's not going to be perfect because I'm not going to edit it. You're going to get the real reading. Okay. What we are doing today, though, because it is morning, is your spiritual power. We are doing living without fear. So let's do the housekeeping really quick, and then we'll get into it. So all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That gets you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. So click here now, means it. And then it's a blind CC, so nobody's going to see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. Now, let's talk about the social media ever so briefly, merely from the standpoint we do not monetize it. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. We don't want to give them any money. We don't want you to give us money through them, because then they take a part of it. So a free and easy way that you can support the center is by engaging with the pages. Go like, subscribe, follow based on which platform it is, because it bumps us in the algorithms. And then when you engage with the individual posts by reacting, commenting, and sharing the individual posts, again, bumps us in the algorithms. More people see our stuff. That's the goal. So, and we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark. And I am the Running Rev Ryan across all of the social medias that I am on, which is not that many of them. I think I do Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube, and that's it. And I only do Threads because I can do it from Instagram. I don't even have the app. It just does it immediately from Instagram. So, all right, that is that. Now, let's talk about your spiritual power, because it is a library. It is not a single book. It is an inspirational collection. That's what that says right there. I know it's backwards. So it is a collection of some of Ernest Holmes' works that may be more rare. You may not see them anywhere else. Turns out I do have Discover a Richer Life and Living Fear as little booklets. And what those are, which I did not know until I read the intros in here, those two books, because we're doing Living Without Fear, they are a collection of Ernest Holmes' writings from the Science of Mind magazine, which for a long time weren't available. I believe that Kathy Mastriani has digitized all of the issues of Science of Mind, so they may now be available. You will have to join the archives to get access to them, though. So there's that. But it's worth, trust me, joining the archives is worth it. There's a lot of really great information on there. Plus access to these articles, which are in these books. So, that's what they are. And what I like about them is it feels like he's talking directly to you, because he was writing a short essay for the magazine. And so that's what we're doing right now. We are doing Living Without Fear, and we are in the section Freedom from Fear is Possible. So the article we are going to read today, because we started with getting rid of superstitions, the article today is Who and What You Are. Humanity is a triad, a threefold unity. They are physical, having an objective body, mental, having a conscious, emotional, and subjective reaction to their environment, and spiritual, having a self-knowing mind. The full nature of humanity constitutes the law of their being. They are a little world within a big world, but they are largely ignorant of their true nature, and this ignorance brings upon them the very bondage, limitation, and fear from which they suffer. If we were able to remove the entire realm of consciousness from humanity, there would be nothing left. Or, if anything should be left, we could not know it. We realize then that the entire being of a person, insofar as we can understand their being, must consist of different states of consciousness. A person lives in their state of consciousness, move, and have their being in them. Whatever our nature is, we did not create it. We can only use it. As ignorance of the law excuses no one from its effects, and as we are all ignorant of our true natures, we are all bound by this ignorance. This bondage is not an eternal verity, yet it is an actual fact. Enlightenment alone can produce freedom. The eternal inquiry concerning God is an inquiry into the nature of our own being. It is certain that we have a body, and it is certain that we have a conscious intelligence, else this page could neither have been written nor now read. It is demonstrable that the body and mind did not create themselves, but have their source in something greater than they are. Hence, we are threefold beings consisting of body, mind, and spirit. Now, the body itself, evolved through untold ages of time and stages of development, must have started somewhere, somehow, with an original concept which humanity did not create. This original concept must have been an idea in the mind of God. Hence, it must be a divine idea, and divine ideas must be perfect. Therefore, it follows that whatever the true nature... Therefore, it follows that whatever the true idea of body is, or shall be discovered to be, it must be perfect. As yet, we do not understand this perfection, although we dimly sense it. In such degree as the mind senses this perfection, the body responds to the spiritual awareness and becomes harmonious. If you are not familiar with Amit Goswami, it's literally A-M-I-T, Goswami, G-O-S-W-A-M-I, I believe. Amit Goswami, he's a nuclear physicist. He is from India, and his idea is to combine science with spirituality. He wrote a book called The Quantum Doctor. I reference it frequently because I loved The Quantum Doctor. I loved that class. It was a great class. Because that's what he talks about. Now, he says we have 5 bodies. The last body is what Ernest is talking about here. What Dr. Goswami called the bliss body. That is the perfect body. That is God's idea of us. That's why it's perfect. And so anytime we are working on something, that's the body we want to go to. The perfect body. God's idea of our body. Not our idea of body, not society's idea of body, not the race conscious idea of body. God's idea of body. That's what Ernest is talking about right here. Okay. This is not a matter of creation on the part of the individual mind, but it is an awakening. All evolution is an awakening and development to a greater possibility, resulting in an unfoldment of an inherent potential. Since humanity lives in their consciousness, it follows that a change of consciousness will produce a change in outward manifestation. Hence, we arrive at the idea that a person lives in and by their beliefs and opinions, and that could they change these beliefs and opinions, there would be an outward manifestation corresponding to the inner change. A theory basic to effective prayer and science of mind is that in reality, we are now perfect, even as God is perfect, and that this perfection appears outwardly in ratio corresponding to our spiritual perfection. It is done unto you as you believe. We have reached that place in the evolution of our consciousness where the mind begins to grasp a higher order of being. We do not know what the future holds in store, but that it has a new order for humanity, there can be no doubt. The old order is rapidly passing, and millions of people today are endeavoring to sense their relationship to the universal. The persistent study of humanity's nature carried on through the last 100 years has developed an understanding of truths which will completely revolutionize not only human thought, but its corresponding reactions. Never before has there been such an inquiry as is now being carried on. We are gradually shifting our mental concepts from material to spiritual basis. I think Ernest was very optimistic. The time will come when all people will look upon humanity as individual incarnations of the universal spirit, which is God. Like I said, I think Ernest was very optimistic. It's kind of like Gene Roddenberry. He wants to see the best in people. The nearer we approach this position, the more we shall withdraw from a false concept of our own being. A person is a spiritual being, using the law of mind, living in a world of objective form, and being surrounded by an unfoldment of their experience, which is the counterpart of their persistent pattern of thought. Okay? Living in a world of objective form and being surrounded by an unfoldment in their experience, which is the counterpart of their persistent pattern of thought. That's one of the reasons why when we talk about thoughts, any thought can be creative. Every thought has the potential to be creative, but not every thought is necessarily creative. It's important to understand what your pattern of thought is, because that's what's going to show up in the world. So if you don't like what your world looks like, then you need to go back and examine your pattern of thought, the trend of your thoughts. Yes, you do want to pull the individual weeds, because eventually the weeds will choke out the crops, but you want to look at the pattern. And if you keep having weeds cropping up in your patterns of thought, let's go back and look at where the root cause of that is coming from. All right, back to Ernest. Like produces like. What? Okay, this is a quote. I don't know where it's from, and I'm kind of curious. Do men gather grapes of thorns? What? Okay. Humanity's nature is drawn from the universal nature, which is not only the sum total of all individual life, but which is also the essence of life itself. This ultimate and intelligent causation is what we mean when we say God. That there is a direct relationship between the universal and the individual, there can be no doubt, and that a person is a product of the universal, nobody can deny. That God, or the first cause, is complete and perfect in all thinking, people have affirmed. I think I left an article out right there. Okay, that God, or the first cause, is complete and perfect, all thinking people have affirmed. Intuition, revelation, and investigation combine to prove the fundamental premise that the first cause is complete within itself and that we have access to it through our understanding. Okay, the entire evolution of humanity is the result of gradual awakening to truths which have eternal existence. Evolution is not a cause, but an effect. The cause of evolution is intelligence. The effect is manifestation. A person's body is part of one great body of all physical life. So is the mind one with the infinite mind. From this infinite mind, they draw inspiration, knowledge, and wisdom, the direct revelation of reality through them. There are numerous channels by which they have access to this infinite mind. Okay, that is an interesting thought. Numerous channels. Inspiration is the direct inner perception of truth, while science, by careful investigation, works its way back through appearance to ascertain the cause. However, each discovers a universal order governed by immutable laws. How could humanity either perceive intuitively or investigate scientifically unless their consciousness was already one with that which it conceives or understands? The advance made in human progress through the acquisition of greater truth is a continual proclamation of the spirit in humanity as it penetrates more deeply into the nature of that being, which spreads the evidence of itself throughout all creation and proclaims the exactness of its law. The higher discoveries in science have led humanity to a point which transcends all material form and then arrives at ultimate conclusions. Even though pure mathematics, announcing that all movement, all creation, even every creative act starts with an original unit, which is pure spirit or absolute intelligence. Well, that's what you are. He didn't pull any punches in that one. I like the fact that he said that evolution is not a cause, but a manifestation. Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, that is the end of the article. Tomorrow we are going to go on to recognize your individuality. And I'm thinking that based on the way that our argument was going, he hit a word count limit. So he probably had to follow it up with something. But the basis of the argument does appear to be the reason we can know it is because we are part of it. And if we weren't part of it, then we couldn't know it. So that follows that we are a part of it, and that by knowing that we are a part of it, we can make better use of it. That appears, that's why you want to know who and what you are. Because when you know who you are, when you know what you are, you will make better decisions. And that's the goal in the long run, to make better decisions. So know who you are, know what you are, know where you came from, and know ultimately where you are going, and make decisions accordingly. All right. So that's it. I'm wrapping up. We will pick up tomorrow with recognize your individuality, because that's super important to science of mind. You know, we recognize the diversity and the unity. Not the division, the diversity. It's different. Okay. So now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A let's get this week started off right day. A enjoy the cloud cover day. A drink plenty of water because it's still bloody hot here day. It's only supposed to get up to 83 today, but still, I'm just going to be whiny because it's mid-November. It should be in the 70s. Woo! Yay, day. A do what you got to do day. A take care of business day. A cuddle your fur babies day. I already said drink plenty of water day. A do something just for you day. A do something for somebody else day. A do whatever it is that needs to be done or that you just really want to get done day. a good day. And if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, I get that, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light and a divine spark, and a beautiful masterpiece, an absolutely beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. So explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. All right, beloveds. I don't know what I was about to say. So there we are. Hang on. I was going to remind you that Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you